Participants, thank you for joining us this evening for the September 1st, 2021 Monte Sereno Site and Architectural Commission meeting. Before the meeting is called to order, I'd like to point out a few things to assist Commission members, staff, and members of the public to successfully participate in this meeting. Commissioners, please keep your microphones muted until you wish to speak. You have a hot mic. For this commission meeting, we are using Zoom to host the meeting. At the bottom of the Zoom client, there are two icons, chat and raise hand. Please use chat only to report technical issues, such as being unable to hear a commissioner speaking. Please use the raised hand if you would like to be recognized and enabled to speak to the commission by the chairperson. Comments in the chat feature will not be part of the public record. For the public to comment under oral communication or on any agenda item, in addition to using the raise hand feature, emails can be submitted to the city planner, limited to 350 words, and they will be read into the record. This limit is set to adhere to the typical 3-minute allowance. All attendees using the Zoom application can use the raised hand option to comment. Participation from a telephone will allow for listening only and does not allow for any feedback. And finally, because we're not all in the same room, all votes at this meeting will be taken by roll call. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Should we start with roll call?
Sorry. Commissioner Booker?
Here.
Commissioner Sharma?
Here.
Commissioner Ziedler?
Here.
And Chair White.
Here, thank you.
So as mentioned earlier, Commissioner Harrington is absent from this meeting.
Right, thank you. And anything in relationship to orders of the day, Madam Planner?
Nothing from me now.
Okay. Has everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes of the meeting that I was absent at, the August 4 meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Anybody got a motion to approve those?
I will motion to approve those.
All right, is there a second?
I can second the motion.
Okay.
I
And all
do
those-
second the motion.
She did, she just did. And all those in favor, we'll do a roll call, I guess. I'm sorry.
Okay, Commissioner Booker,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharma,
Yes.
Commissioner Ziedler,
Yes.
and Chair White.
I'm going to abstain because I didn't listen to that meeting and review the minutes. So it looks like we got enough to pass it. So that's great. Thank you guys very, very much. Do we have any oral communications independent of what's on our agenda? This is an opportunity, if you are a member of the public and in our audience tonight, to speak on something that isn't agendized tonight, something that you think the Site and Architecture Commission should be aware of. If you'll use the raise hand feature, then I will know to call on you. And seeing no hands raised, we will close now our oral communications portion of the meeting. Madam Planner, do we have any written communications that are not in our packets already?
No, we did not receive anything for this meeting.
Very good. All right, for those of you that have not been to a Site and Architecture Commission meeting, they're a lot of fun. This is the process. Each item is on the agenda and a number. We'll take them in that order. The applicant usually has, the planner usually introduces the topic to the commission, and then the applicant has an opportunity to provide some testimony or describe the project or inform the commissioners about anything that they think is important for us to consider. And then we open it to general public, and they will have an opportunity to comment on the project as well. And then we'll close the public comment, and the commissioners will decide the matter amongst themselves and take a vote ultimately on approval or disapproval of the project and any conditions that may be attendant thereto. So that's a process we're going to adopt. And if everybody's on board, we're going to start with the very first item. It's a matter that's returned to us from a couple months ago. Madam Planner, can you please introduce the first item on our agenda tonight?
Yes, thank you. As you mentioned, this item was originally heard at the July 7th Site and Architectural Commission meeting and was continued at that meeting as there were some design concerns expressed by the commission. So the project is back tonight and has been redesigned. The project is to demolish an existing house and construct a new 3,001 square foot two-story home at 17871 Andrews Street. And that concludes the staff report. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions for Madam Planner? All right, seeing none, does the applicant want to speak tonight on some of the changes that have been made and provide us with a brief summary of those if available? You'd use the raise hand feature, then we know to call on you if you're there. There you are. All right, Mr. Ventnor.
Yeah, hi there. Yeah, we took all of your comments to heart. That was on the last meeting held on the July 7th. The main things that we concentrated on was that we have moved the front door to the front. It's not along the side of the property anymore. The downstairs bathroom has been moved to the side of the house to avoid having, bathroom windows facing the street elevation. We've included a more detailed landscaping plan showing precedent images and also specifying plant species and types. The 3D representations of the house have been updated to show the design intent of the landscaping plan as accurately as possible. Material and color choices have been updated to be more in line with what is found in the neighborhood. This includes asphalt shingles, reducing the extent of metal roofing and siding, lighter colored metal siding and roofing, and then limestone cladding and beige color of the stucco cladding. The building is now, the balcony is now centered on the upper facade to give it a more symmetrical appearance. The roof design has been adjusted to give it a more traditional shape that is more in line with what is found in the neighborhood. And we feel that these updates have resulted in a more successful design that better blends into the neighborhood context.
Thank you very much, Mr. Venter. Do the commissioners have any questions for the applicant? No?
I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
Patrick.
Mr. Vintner, I was curious. Looking at the drawings, I noticed that there are two, actually possibly three large windows in the front of the house. And as I'm looking at the drawings and the pictures, are those I wouldn't call them ceiling to floor, but those are full-sized windows, right? Stationary windows, or do those open in some manner?
Yes, they do. At the bottom floor, we have, it's basically a study / bedroom, and it can open completely. And then on the upper floor, there's a window and then doors that open up onto the balcony.
Okay. So the ones on the bottom floor to the right of the front door as you're facing the front of the house,
Yes.
are those sliders, or in which manner do they open?
They're hinge doors, so they open outward opening.
Okay. All right. And so those are for someone could walk in and out of. Is that the idea, or? Yeah,
I mean, it's basically to be able to have an inside-outside experience. It's not supposed to be an entry point for the house, but
Right.
if you want to open up and experience the outside.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, Mr. Venter, very much. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Anybody from the general public that is interested in speaking on this particular project, if you could use the raise hand feature, I'll know to call on you. Very well. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment portion of the meeting, and now we're going to circle back for a discussion amongst us commissioners regarding this application. I think they've done a really good job of addressing a lot of the concerns that we articulated a couple of months ago. Still not in love with all the concrete, but I think that they've done their best to try and address certainly the location of the front door, the roof line, and to soften a little bit with some of the colors that choices they've made that we were critical of the last time they were before us. How about you, commissioners?
No,
I agree.
I agree.
I agree. And I also like, some of I appreciate some of the example planting pictures that they've included, because that helps me visualize how they're going to break that, that concrete look.
All right, would anybody entertain a motion to approve this project as submitted?
I'll move to approve the project as submitted.
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you. Madam Planner, can you please take a vote?
Yes, Commissioner Booker,
Yes, I approve.
Commissioner Sharma,
Yes.
Commissioner Ziedler,
Yes.
and Chair White.
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to Mr. Ventnor. Good luck with your project, and thank you for making those changes. That was well done. All right, moving to item number 2. Madam Planner, would you please introduce that for us?
Yes, thank you. This is an application for a site development permit to consider a proposed project for a 1-story addition of a total of 1,520 square feet to an existing 1-story house at 15111 Alma Jo Court. And as noted in the staff report, the majority of the addition is at the back of the house. There is some areas in the front of some existing covered porches that are being filled in at the front also, but the majority of the additional square footage is in the back. And this concludes the staff report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Commissioners, any questions for our planner? Okay. All right. Is the applicant available tonight? And just because you're here doesn't mean you have to speak to your particular application, but if you want that opportunity, we want to afford it to you. Mr. Mingo, I see that your hand is raised. Are you here on behalf of the applicant? I see your mic looks muted.
Okay, am I unmuted now?
You are, and we hear you. Welcome.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yes, so I'm the designer for the project, and the homeowners, I believe, are on the line as well. Daniel Patel. I think Diana did a pretty good summary. The existing house was built in 1973. It's a ranch style house with some vaguely Spanish style elements to it, fairly nondescript. We wanted to give it a little bit more curb appeal, have it blend in with the neighborhood a little bit more, keep it at 1 story. And as Diana mentioned, the bulk of the addition is in the back. So there's very little street impact other than the gate, the porch gables that we added on the front to sort of give it a little bit more curb appeal. We're not looking for any variances, and everything's within the setbacks. I think that's pretty much summarizes the project.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mingo. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Mingo? Very good. And I don't have any for you either, sir. I don't know if Mr. Mattel wants to also speak. I'll give him that opportunity if he wants. But otherwise, just got to raise your hand if that's what you want. If you don't, that's fine too. Very good. All right. Anybody from, thank you, Mr. Migo. Anybody from the public that wants to speak to this particular application, if you would use the raise hand feature, we'll know to call on you. Very well. Seeing none. We're moving quickly. We're going to circle back to our commissioners and have our own little discussion about this. I thought that this is going to look pretty good, actually. All the stuff is in the rear. I don't think it's going to have any real effect on, from a visual perspective, at the front of the home. The fountain might be a nice addition. And I would support this project. I don't know if anybody else has any other reservations.
I would support it also, and I think the updates they're doing to the front will look really nice.
Lavi, Patrick?
I agree with all of that. I like the fact that it's they're keeping it to one story, and that's important, I think. And it gives it a nice ranch effect even more so. It doesn't look like it really impacts the design of that original building at all. So
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, likewise, I completely agree.
Okay, then I will make the motion that we approve the project as submitted with the conditions applicable to it as prepared by the city planner. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
And
Madam Planner, will you please do a vote call?
Yes, thank you. Commissioner Booker,
Yes.
Commissioner Sharma,
Yes,
Commissioner Ziegler,
Yes.
and Chair White.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Mingo. Thank you, Mr. Patel. Good luck with your project. Looks like it's going to be an attractive addition to our community. Thank you. All right. We're moving on to our final item on the agenda. Madam Planner, if you could introduce that for us, I'd appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you. This is an application for a tree removal permit to remove one redwood tree that is 108 inches in circumference at 15579 Dorado Lane. And the reason for the request for the removal is that the tree was planted very close to an accessory structure on the site, and the roots are damaging the foundation as well as some hardscape in the area of the backyard. And that concludes the staff report, and I'll be available to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions for Ms. Perkins? Done? All right. This is the applicant. Mr. Hendig, are you available or want to speak to this particular application? If you use the raise hand feature, I know to call on you. Very well. I don't believe there's anybody here on behalf of the applicant. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to comment on this particular application? Again, seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment portion of the meeting with respect to this application and circle back to our commissioners for discussion and decision. Commissioners, anybody want to start us off?
well, I looked at the pictures, and I mean, it's pretty clear that the tree is really close to the so it definitely makes sense. And even from the proper, like the foundation damage that you can see, that it looks like, yeah, it needs to be removed.
Yeah, I've seen trees close to the house before, but never this close.
Right.
And the root structure that's doing the damage to the hardscape definitely creates some kind of an accident that's going to happen at some point in time. But I don't know. I'm starting to believe that we cut too many trees down in this city. So I'd like to see something replace it if we go ahead and approve this. So
Hate to see, hate to lose a redwood tree, but yeah, I agree with you, Commissioner Booker.
I agree with the others that the tree, it's just kind of impossibly close to the house. It looks mere inches away. If the tree continued to expand, it'd probably be touching the structure at some point. So it can't continue living there. Normally, we would require an arborist report for a tree of this size, but it's so obvious that the tree needs to come out that I think that additional step is unnecessary. So I'm fine with, reviewing it without that. And the property has lots of trees. I personally would be okay with approving removal without a replacement tree. I don't think it needs a tree even where that redwood is, and he has plenty of other mature trees on the property. You know, planting trees can be somewhat arbitrary. Some properties don't have enough, some have too many. I think his perhaps is overplanted, and so I'd be okay with not requiring a replacement tree, or if the commission wants a replacement tree, you know, allowing it to be a smaller one, obviously.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I believe that, you know, I mean, it's a situation where if it's a smaller tree, then that would probably make sense. Yes, there are a lot of mature trees on the lot itself. But I think maybe a small tree might make sense in another part of the yard, perhaps. Just plant the seed, that's all.
Hear you. We can't hear you.
Well, that's of course because I'm muted like an idiot. So
Your face was expressive, but no
oh, yes,
words.
thank you very much. Everyone can read my lips, right? No more taxes. No, I think that this yard could be cleaned up a little bit, and there would certainly be room for a 24-inch box tree. And I concur with Patrick. We're approving removal of trees every time they come to us. And if we don't have some uniform approach to requiring replacement trees, I think we look somewhat arbitrary in these decisions. So I would support this application with the requirement for a replacement tree of 24-inch box as specified in the proposed memorandum of decision from the planner. And I move so.
I'll second.
Madam Planner?
Commissioner Booker,
I approve with the condition of a replacement tree, box tree.
Commissioner Sharma,
Yes.
Commissioner Ziedler,
Yes.
and Chair White.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Planner. Okay, that concludes our agenda. Madam Planner, is there anything for us to decide independent of the 3 items that were on our agenda tonight?
There is not, but I do have a couple of informational items for the
Great.
commission. The first is that as was discussed at the July 7th meeting about having a joint study session with the City Council, we were going to schedule one for October 5th. And the main point of discussion for the joint study session would be the draft objective design standards. And so this would be a study session before those standards come to the Site and Architectural Commission or the City Council for a recommendation and a final decision, so that you'll have an opportunity to see them and provide any feedback before they move forward. And I believe that meeting will be at 5:30 p.m. on October 5th. So that would give us about an hour and a half before the council public hearing would start. And then the second item is just a bit of a heads up. We don't have a final decision yet about returning to in-person meetings, but the governor's order that allows the fully remote meetings in the manner we've been having them for, I guess, about 1.5 years now, expires on September 30th. So there was a council discussion at their last meeting, and they did express interest in having city officials return in person in October, but still having an option for members of the public to participate in person or online. But no final decision has been made yet. The council will discuss this, I believe, at their September 7th meeting. So I'll certainly inform you of what's decided at that time. But it is possible that our next meeting, October 6th, will be in person, at least for the commissioners and for staff.
Exciting, thank you. And then did you guys decide last meeting in relationship to this this group that's going to meet on October 5th, who from our group was going to participate?
It's for everybody.
For everybody.
So it's for, yeah, all the
just,
commissioners and all the council.
Okay, so we just let you know, and is that going to be, that could be in person or that could be virtual? We'll know after the 7th, huh?
Exactly.
Okay, Very good. I'm gonna put it on calendar then. Awesome. Anything else?
Nothing else from me.
Thank you very
Sorry,
much.
so just to clarify, so we'll know on the 7th whether or not we're having the October meeting in person or still, is it going to be virtual?
Correct. The city council has 2 meetings scheduled in September, one the 7th and the second meeting on the 21st. I believe it's scheduled for them to make a decision at the September 7th meeting. There's a chance that they may continue that to the next meeting. But I will definitely email the commission after the September 7th meeting and let you know what was decided.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And your email will say what meetings we have in October, because I'm not totally clear.
Yes, so we will
Okay.
have, sorry, let me get my calendar here. There will be a meeting October 5th, which is a joint study session with the city council. And that will be at 5:30. And then we'll have our regular monthly meeting on October 6th at 7 p.m. Whether the meetings are in person or virtual is to be decided.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dana, very, very much. All right, guys, anybody else have something for us tonight? No. All right. I will see you guys in October. Thank you, everybody.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everyone.
Good
Good night.
everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.